Hello and welcome to this video today. It's a very important and different video. I want to talk about the heavy layers of conditioning that are put on women and how it contributes to their emotional and physical health, how it can make it worse, like how it really affects you. I've been thinking of this a lot, God, forever, but I haven't really talked about it much before. And I've really been thinking about, women, as women, so many things are expected of us and the way we were raised. So if you're a woman over the age of 45, especially over the age of 50, and you were raised the normal kind of way most of us were raised, right? Growing up in the late 60s. Well, I was born in 63. So growing up in the 60s and 70s, women were treated differently. They had different roles, right? So our mothers were usually the stay-at-home mothers, the ones that kept the house, that did all the grocery shopping, that made all the appointments, took us to all of our appointments, planned all the family gatherings, made all the food for the family gatherings, packed when you did the trips, summer vacations and all that, made all the food for that, packed all of everything. And then the husbands would work in the office, go golfing on the weekend, or whatever they did, come home, supper would be ready. They'd maybe spend some time with the kids, and then the mother would then take the rest of the evening getting the kids ready for bed, reading them stories, all of those things. So we were raised seeing that, right? As that is the image of a woman. And there's such a big generation gap between, if you're especially around 50, your mother and you in most cases. But we were raised with a lot of conditioning. And then by the time it was time for us to be on our own, things had really changed, right? And so all of a sudden we were really into our power and saying, I get to do what I want in life. I can have the career I want. I don't need to get married right away. I can have a really good career and get married later. I don't even know if I want kids, right? So our mother grew up with expectations that she usually lived through and lived up to, kind of like without questioning. We grew up with these role models and then saying kind of, do I really want to be like that? Or can I choose my own path? And having the ability to choose our own path and be different. And I was definitely one of those people. I didn't even think I would get married or have kids. But our conditioning is so strong. So I thought there's no way I'm going to end up having one of those normal lives where you're married, you have kids, and you work, and you take your kid to daycare, and on and on and on. And I fell into that. Not that at the time, I really wanted it. But we have so much of this that's honest that women still take care of everything. We even when we got married and have kids and we're working, it was still because our husbands were raised by mothers like our mothers. So to them, they saw that the woman took care of everything in the home, and that's what they were used to, right? And so then here we are, these women, we were raised by mothers like that, yet we knew we didn't have to be like that, but there was this conflict. I feel I should be like that. I don't think I have to be like that. But if I'm not like that, am I being considered selfish? Is there something wrong with me? Why don't I want the same things that my mother wanted, that people around me want, that, my friends in school, now they're all married and have kids. Why don't I feel that, right? So we grew up with this conflict within us, and I see it coming out so much right now. As in, you've raised your kids, you might have worked full-time or almost full-time through the whole thing. When we're in our 20s, 30s, and early 40s, we are able to handle so much of that. It was a lot, but then when you begin to go through the midlife phase and your body starts to change, that it's just like everything is too much. We finally realize, oh my freaking God, I'm still doing everything. Now, that's not my story because I chose not to, okay? So I'm just saying, I know I don't have that life. But I see it in so many women that they can't take time for themselves. If they say to their family, friends, or whatever, or mother especially, I'm going to take time to myself. I'm going to put myself as a priority. Right away, we're seen as, oh, you're a little selfish. You may be called a bitch. Look what she's doing. She's going to give up her family. She's not being good with her husband. She's not spending time with so-and-so. She's saying no. How dare she says no. She doesn't do the cleaning. She's hired a cleaning person. Oh my God, her husband's cooking. You know, all those kinds of things, right? It's got you feeling bad about taking care of you. Now, I don't know if that's you or your story, but if you're still watching, it probably is your story because you're still watching, right? It's really time. And so during midlife, I believe that our soul starts really screaming to us, you know, hey, it's your time. It's your time. Are you going to continue to give, not replenish yourself? And therefore you feel depleted, you feel tired, you're frustrated, you're resentful, right? You find that you wake up one day and you're like, oh my God, like, I don't want to do this anymore. This is all too much. When is my time? When is my time, right? Waiting for somebody to give you your time. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Your kids aren't magically, your adult kids aren't magically going to come around and say, okay, Mom, I'm going to give you three extra hours a day, right? No one's coming to give you extra time, right? So if you're telling yourself you're too busy to make healthy meals, or you're too busy to exercise, or you're too tired to do things like that, or you just couldn't care about taking care of yourself, or you've given up on trying to have healthy meals, you don't want to spend hours in the kitchen, all of these things. Or again, saying, you know what, I'm just too tired to care about it. I don't know what to do. I'm very confused. I'm really conflicted. I don't have time to worry about this. I don't have time to research. I don't know what to do. Something needs to change. Something needs to change. And especially if you're beginning to notice health issues, right? This is your time. And what I want you to also realize is we can wait for somebody to change. You can wait for your husband to start doing things, or your spouse. You can wait for your kids, or hope or tell your kids to start doing things on their own and have that battle back and forth. But until you fully stand in your power, feel your own power, know that you are truly deserving and worthy of taking really good care of yourself, right? Then things probably won't change very fast. Don't wait for people to do that for you. It's you who get to do it for yourself. It's time truly to take full responsibility for your health, for your life, for everything. And I know it can seem like there's no way, I just don't have time. I got to take care of aging parents. Maybe some of you may still have kids living at home, even though they're, in their 20s or whatever. And then your husband works full time, and you probably work full time, and you have a home to take care of, and there's a yard, and there's a mortgage, and you got cars, and all of those things, right? And it can be really triggering for someone like me to tell you that you can make changes, especially when I live a life on my own, a very simple life with lots of freedom. The thing is, I chose that. I made decisions along the way because this is how I wanted to live, right? I chose, and I don't want to say sacrifice because that's not really right. I don't own a home. I live in a really small space, but that's the way I choose. I'm not saying you have to. I chose that, okay, if I want more of a freedom-based lifestyle, if I want a lifestyle where I have time for me, if I want a lifestyle where I don't have a 9-to-5 schedule and I can do things on my term, then how would that look? What can I do to gain that? And I started years ago, but it's not too late for you. I decided, okay, what type of work could I do? And anyways, this is my passion work, right? It's just taking it from doing it in person and bringing it all online. But I'm going to tell you that was really hard. I'm still learning years and years and years later. And that may not be for you, but I'm saying that you can begin to make changes in your life. You also get to now set up really some powerful and loving boundaries for the people around you. If you say yes all the time, it is time for you to begin to practice saying, you know what? that time I can't make it. That is my time. Or don't say what you're doing in that time, right? Just say, you know what? No, that doesn't quite work for me. But how about? Or, I'm going to let that go. And maybe that's something you could take on yourself, right? There's so many ways that you can say no in a loving, powerful way. But when you start to apologize and feel really bad and feel like you're taking their joy away, or feel like you're hurting them by saying no, they feel that energy, and that makes them think, oh my God, she is hurting me. This isn't right for her to do. She is selfish. It's because you already feel that about yourself inside. So when you become feeling fully empowered inside and going, you know what? No, they can take care of themselves. Now, I know if you have aging parents that you gotta have, I'm not talking all the time. It's not all or nothing. It's not black and white. We're talking starting to make little changes that work for you. And there's always a way it can work for other people, right? Always. You can always ask for more help. You can always hire more help. You can always delegate things, right? It's just sometimes you're scared to do those things. Or when you start to do those things, other people get mad at you. And you feel their anger because they don't want their life to change. They're happy with you doing everything. Believe me, they're not going to come and tell you you don't have to do it all of a sudden. They are happy that you do it. They are used to you doing it, and they don't want that to change. So, of course, when you start to change things, they are going to, wow, hold it, stop. No, I don't think I like that. They're going to give you a hard time. But you are the one that gets to decide, you know what? That's okay. They're going to get used to it. And know that you're empowering them to start doing things for themselves and starting to take on responsibilities, right? If you think you have to do everything for everybody, you're not giving them credit. You're not believing that they can do it for themselves. And then they don't believe they can do it for themselves. Okay? So if you do everything for everybody else and you feel you're the only one who can do it right and everything will fall apart if you don't do it, that's on you. You're the one who set this up. You're the one who made your life the way it is now. And you might be really frustrated. You might realize that completely and go, I did it. I know I did. I don't know how to get out of it. Yes, you do. You just don't want to feel the uncomfortable feelings and feel and have the uncomfortable conversations with those people, because it's going to be harder, right? But you know it's got to be done because it's your life, right? It's your life. They have their lives. They are responsible for themselves. They are responsible for their health. They are responsible for their wellness. And remember, I'm not talking about people who can't take care of themselves, right? You are responsible for your life, your wellness, your health, your wealth, everything. You get to make the changes, right? You get to ask for help. You get to hire someone if you want. You get to spend money on yourself. You get to start saying no. You get to feel empowered. You get to feel powerful. You get to love yourself. You get to let go of the guilt and the shame. Enough of that already. And really understand, wow, there's so much conditioning that was put on me. Because when I begin to do these things, I feel terrible about myself. I feel like I'm a bad mother. I'm a bad wife. I'm a bad daughter. I feel like I'm not a good person. I'm selfish. All of those things. You're going to feel all of those things. But no, they're not true. No, they are not true. And you know that deep in your heart that you're a really good person. You already know that. Right? So it's just releasing and knowing and seeing and feeling those things that have been layers and layers of conditioning that are put upon you, and still what society believes women should do and not do, what they should say and not say, the emotions they should show and not show. Yes, there's still a lot of conditioning out there. But if we don't begin to take ownership of ourselves and responsibility for ourselves, that's not going to change. Right? So it's really, 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 really time for women to know that, you know what, when I take really good care of myself, when I put myself as a priority, when I take care of my health, my wellness, my emotional well-being, my physical well-being, all of that, I am a good role model. I am showing my kids, I am showing other people, you also get to do this for yourself. Most of us didn't see our mothers doing that. And so it's harder for us to do that. Right? So you get to be the person who shows this is what's possible. All right, that's my very important message for you. And it's one that's really, really close to my heart. And I work with this in all my programs, usually my longer programs, because this is so much of why women struggle with finding the time to exercise or to eat healthy or to know what to eat, because they just feel like, no, I got to do, take care of everybody else, do. And if I happen to have 1 minute in my life for me, maybe I'll get around to that. Well, no. It's up to you. So taking responsibility, starting to look at your life honestly and openly, and starting to make the changes required. And then feeling good about them, feeling good about yourself and about those changes, and knowing that you're doing the best for yourself and you're doing the best for others. All right, reach out to me if you're interested in knowing about my coaching programs. And my coaching, I do one-on-one and also some group programs too. Really powerful. It's really powerful for a woman to really start taking care of yourself. Midlife, you guys, come on. What's the rest of it going to be like? You know, it truly is a time when it's like, I'm going to begin to take better care of myself. Or if I don't, what's going to be the consequences of that? And make sure you're part of my Facebook group, Women Creating Healthy Lives on Facebook. That's a free Facebook group, over 3,000 women. And that's where I hang out every single day to better support you, answer your questions, post recipes, show you what I eat in a day. And I do a lot of trainings in there too, and some challenges, like a 7-day challenge. All right, so much love to you. It's time for you to take the best care of you. Let me know in the comments what you think about this message. Right, bye-bye.